Hello and welcome to my channel Unusual Creates. Today we are going to try and make one of these hexagonal floating shelves using some lumber and some wood glue. Earlier this year my husband and I had already made this bigger version of the shelf, but we wanted a smaller one too for a bathroom, so we decided to create one more and this time decided to share it with the world. But before I go further into the details, please subscribe to my channel and make sure that you also click that little bell icon next to it so that you're always updated on when I post my future videos. Now without further ado, let's start creating. So I'm starting off by cutting the edge of my lumber, which is in the width of 5.5 inches, and I'm going to cut them at an angle of 30 degrees. I had this lumber from a bed frame and it was a sturdy wood, so we decided to recycle it into a shelf. Now we need to cut 6 pieces each of 8-inch length, and while cutting them, I'm going to flip the sides every time so that we get the angle correct. Make sure that you flip between the sides of the wood to get the correct angle, otherwise you will not get that seamless hexagonal shape. If you don't want to flip the board, you can also alternate between 30 degrees and 150 degrees on the saw. But I found flipping the board easier than going back and forth with the angles. You can do what you find easy. Now to cut the rest of the 5 pieces, I'm going to align my first 8-inch piece along the shorter side of the board, making sure that they both are straight together, and mark the length of the other pieces in respect with this first cut piece. Make sure that you flip the side before marking the actual cut. So here's a little tip. If you don't want to go through the hassle of measurements every time and to make sure that all your pieces are of same length, just measure the first piece and use that as your template for the other 5 pieces. That way, even if you're a little off in the measurements, it will be equally off for all the pieces. Once all the pieces are cut, I spread some wood glue on the angular sides to clog its pores. This is because these angular sides where we just did the cuts have something called as the end grains, and these end grains have a tendency of just soaking up all the wood glue and does not act as an adhesive. So to avoid that, we are filling up the pores with some wood glue. After the wood glue is dried, I align them in a straight line in such a way that the shorter sides are on the ground and the angular cut sides make a tiny inverted V. After that, I join these pieces by using some painter's tape on top of it. Make sure that you leave some extra tape at the ends. My recording had stopped during this time, so I couldn't show the complete filming of the tape part. After that, I flip these pieces carefully such that the tape side of the piece is now touching the ground, still laying them edge to edge. Then I spread a good amount of wood glue on the edges, but this time for the purpose of joining these pieces. After that, I held the tape from one of the ends and rolled the pieces together along the tape so that they form a hexagonal shape. Since you have cut the pieces at an angle, all the pieces will be nicely snugged together and it will give you this seamless aligned look. After that, keep these pieces joined together and leave it for drying. Once it is thoroughly dried, you can use some caulk and fill in the small holes that you might see. You can also sand it if you find any small deformities. Once the caulk is dried, you can either leave it in its natural wood color or go ahead and paint the pieces or simply use a wood stain. In our larger version of the shelf, we had used a wood stain, but for this smaller one, I'm using a white latex paint. But a simple white color looked too plain, so I added a pop of acrylic color called Laguna along the edges. I also had some small leftover wood pieces, so I decided to join them too in the shelf using some small screws. After everything is dried, I hung it on the wall using these 8-shaped fastener clips. I bought it out from Amazon. I will leave a link to it so that if you're interested, you know where to find them. Decide where you're going to hang them and then use a small screw to join one side of the hook on the shelf and a longer screw for joining the other side of the hook to the wall. Don't worry about these holes, we are going to caulk it. Also, before hanging it on the wall, I gave it one last coat of paint. And there you have it, your very own hexagonal floating shelf. The price of these shelves can range anywhere from $20 to $150 in the market, but you can easily DIY these shelves for a much lower amount. Mine was practically free since I had all the stuff. You can make more of these individual hexagonal shelves and join them together by using some small screws like how we did it here and expand them to your liking. To get that extra depth and to create a more 3D effect, you can use varying width of wood. This shelf looks really neat and is an elegant way of decorating your place, and by using some proper hooks to hang them, you can give them a floating look. Again, make sure that while cutting the wood, you're alternating the sides to get that seamless fit. You can hang these shelves in your living room or even along your stairs. It would look really stunning on any wall or in any room. I hope you liked this DIY honeycomb style floating shelf. If you liked it, then please smash that like button and don't forget to comment, share and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit that bell icon to get regular notifications on when I post my upcoming videos. That's it from me. I will talk to you soon with my next DIY artwork. Till then, take care and stay safe.